Hi there. It is again Patriot Català TV with this spy scandal in Catalonia, Volume 1. As you know, we're starting this section, this little part of our channel in English, as a kind of message in a bottle to reach the world and try to explain the point of view of the Catalans. We've been defeated by war, by weapons, and we still are a colony, probably the last colony of the Spanish, or better said, the Castilian Empire. This is Catalan Gate revealed a major operation spying on pro-independence Catalans. Report by Canadian Research Centre Citizen Lab points to the Spanish state as responsible for large-scale spyware deployment. It looks like we have to understand. As the Coronel Espartero, who was that was way before Franco. He had a very notorious quote where he said, "We have to bombard the Catalans every 50 years, because they depend on what they rob us." What would they do for a living if they wouldn't have that? Imagine Catalan country, which is Catalonia, País Valencià, which is all the Valencian, and Balears, which is Ibiza, all the islands of Balear Islands. Those three little countries, we all three speak the same language, which is Catalan, even though Spanish, they try to fake, or they try to make us make people believe that we speak different languages, but it is impossible that you speak in different languages and we all understand each other. It's like saying that someone from New Zealand is not speaking English. Maybe there's different localisms. Of course, there's a difference in phonetic, a huge difference in phonetic, and probably some localisms, but trying to make believe someone that it's not the same language. I mean, we all know why they do it. They depend on it. They are not viable without Catalonia.
My name is Arya Valle.
My name is Sonia Alpí.
My name is Jordi Domingo.
My name is Jordi Sánchez.
My name is Elisenda Palusie.
And I have been spied on
Illegally
by the Spanish authorities.
For being a Catalan
For independence activist.
Okay, so the Amnesty Tech Security Lab has peer review a sample of cases identified by Citizen Lab and confirmed targeted and infection with Pegasus in all cases analyzed. Spain, EU must act to end spyware abuse after prominent Catalans targeted with new evidence reveals prominent Catalans have been targeted with Pegasus spyware. I mean, this is a weapon, and it is illegal to kill someone with a weapon, but it is not illegal to have it. And once you have it, you're gonna end up using it, isn't it? So we heard some politicians here in Catalonia saying, "Oh, the responsibility is we have to ask for responsibilities, legal responsibilities, to the company who built the weapon." Like saying, "Okay, I kill a man, but the responsible, it's not myself, is the one who built the weapon." kind of a joke, or I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Sorry, but I don't get it. The New Yorker. How democracies spy on their citizens. The inside story of the world's most notorious commercial spyware and the big tech companies waging war against it. One of the most important things is that let's say, our path, the path we followed, um, let me know. Just one moment. Let me see. I have to do, wait a moment. Wait a moment, let me solve something. This is live. Okay, wait a moment. So, sometimes you know how Google works, how YouTube, which is the same company.
Probably the biggest issue on the agenda for most governments around the world. There are very serious issues around data breaches, investigations into terrorism, national security
Aaron.
investigations, all of which today
Yeah, Peter.
requires this type of technology. So the marketplace is absolutely exploding. The problem is that companies like NSO Group really face no outside scrutiny or serious controls of any sort in terms of to whom they sell the product. Most companies are concerned about the bottom line. They'll take a client wherever they can. Some of them, like NSO Group, may claim that they undertake some kind of due diligence. In the case of NSO Group, they say we only sell to accredited government agencies and we require them to only use it for national security or criminal investigations. The problem, of course, is that many governments around the world today are corrupt or authoritarian, or if they're democracies, they're sliding back into autocracy. And for them, what constitutes a crime or a national security issue can end up being civil society. It can end up being investigative journalists, human rights advocates.
I mean, they have a different standard of what something illegal is. Spanish intelligence agency acquired Pegasus spyware in first half of 2010s. So this is nothing new. The National Intelligence Center, CNI, Spain's intelligence agency, acquired the Pegasus espionage system in the first half of the 2010s. So, and to an initial cost of 6 million euros, according to El País. The Spanish news outlet cites sources close to the Spanish intelligence services. The CNI is thought to have purchased the software from Israeli company NSO. We saw the logo just a few seconds ago, with the intention of using it abroad. Ultimately, it was used to spy on more than 60 pro-independence Catalan politicians and members on civil society. The revelations were published by Citizen Lab and the New Yorker on Monday. When the actual Spanish government was accused about that, they said, "We don't know the New Yorker." Who is that newspaper? They don't know the New Yorker. Um, Spain is a third world country. They are leading the miserability in the industrialized world. So they are leaders in unemployment and inflation. So we can say that Spain is third world. I mean, they are trying to fake that they are a democracy, but they are not. It is plain to see. So, They bought it 15 years ago, among 10 to 15 years ago, and now it has been discovered because they use it again, their own citizens. This is something you do to spy, I don't know, criminals or foreigners, but not your own citizens. Spy scandal. Catalonia separatists threaten Madrid government. The conflict between the Spanish central government and Catalonia separatists over the Pegasus tapping scandal is coming to a head. So we have to think that we never have chosen to be Spaniards. We never did. Uh, we've been conquered by by killing us by war. uh, that's the fact. I mean, we can not say other thing. We our long language was forbidden for many years. We've been bombarded regularly on a schedule. I mean, oh, we have to kill them again. Let's bombard them again, and let's, of course, shoot them and kill them, and let's burn all the books and all the intellectuals. We can burn them also. Catalan head of government Pere Aragonés, he's an ugly and very short bag of shit who is leading. I have to explain that because I don't know if you ever read probably the most important book in political philosophy in history, which is The Prince of Nicholas Machiavello. Um, they say that when you win a province that it's not yours, first, what you have to smash everything, you have to erase everything, burn everything, kill everyone. This is the first part. The second part is that you need, let's say, you have to put some provincials, someone from the province. If you put a leader there from outside the province, the people is gonna end up rebelling, you know. So you have to put, and that kind of traitors, that kind of liars, that kind of traitors to their field, to their place, to their country. Um, that guy is a very short and ugly and disgusting, stupid guy who is lying. I mean, he's being loyal to the winner of the war, who is Spain. On Wednesday, threatened to withdraw parliamentary support for Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez, Spanish minority government in Madrid, if he does not quickly identify those responsible for illegally spying on Catalan separatist leaders. I'm gonna try to explain that because it's very difficult to understand. I get it. So that Pere Aragonés just gave support to the Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez, getting nothing in return, and Pedro Sánchez wouldn't be able to go forward because he's in minority. I mean, he depends absolutely on this support, and this president of Catalonia is giving all the support with no exchange, and he's saying, "Oh, don't spy us anymore." It's like it's kind of a joke, yeah, I know, but they are doing this theater because if I mean, they try to hide what it's plain to see, that is the Spain, the only target of the Reino of Spain, of the Spanish kingdom, is to erase, to delete, to completely obliterate Catalan culture. Why for? Because 70% of the exports and 50% of the GDP comes from Catalonia. So you are not viable. The Spanish kingdom is an insolvent junkie, and the Spanish kingdom is acting as an insolvent junkie. Going forward as there's no tomorrow, Spain's ruling coalition of socialist Sanchez PSOE and left-wing Podemos, it emerged something kind of they said we're gonna get out all the high classes because we are the people, and now they got together to rob together forever. They made new uh, ministers and new, I don't know, they invented new political charges to decide if you can be a man or woman or neither of both, or I don't know. I mean, I don't want to talk about kind of social stuff because this is not the thing. The thing is that they are robbing um, not only the Catalans, mostly the Catalans, but also their own citizens, their own Spanish citizens. I mean, Spain is condemned forever to misery. I mean, there's no way out. Spain is third world, and they are leading the miserability among the 35 uh, industrialized countries, what we could call the first world. That's it. They are not only robbing to the Catalans, they are mostly robbing to the Catalans, but they are taking their citizens to the everlasting misery. Okay, as early as Tuesday, Aragonés, that ugly and short motherfucker, threatened to suspend most of his institutional ties with Spain until the central government clarified allegations of spying against separatist politicians. According to a report by Canadian research group Citizen Lab, between 2017 and 2020, the cell phones of at least 63 Catalan separatist leaders were hacked and tapped using that Israeli spy software Pegasus. Spanish media reported Israeli software makers and SOs taping system, which can be used to spy on a cell phone data, is sold exclusively to governments and state agencies. We do not have a state. Europe is saying, oh, they have to solve it inside. But this is like saying, okay, you are hitting the lady, you are hitting your wife, but this is something that you have to solve inside your house. I mean, Europe is not gonna give any support to Catalonia. Why? Because I don't know if ever happened to you, but it happened to me when I got divorced, unfortunately, many years ago. You know, normally the man have to leave the house. You get a deal with your ex-girlfriend or ex-wife, and monetary exchange, or you pay this or whatever it is, and then you go to the, I mean, you just get out of the house, and you stop being owner of the co-owner of the house, but the bank who lent the mortgage doesn't allow you to be free. And it's like, okay, I'm not an owner anymore. Why you still getting my collateral? The- but they are not gonna let you go anyway, even though you are not the owner anymore. This is the same thing. I mean, the Spanish insolvent junkie depends on the Catalans to be solvent, not so much, but at least to keep on alive, to keep alive. So European authorities are saying, no, please, we don't want to talk about that, because if Catalonia goes away, Spain is never gonna be able to pay his huge debts. 173% of the gross domestic product. I mean, not in 100 years they're gonna pay for that. That's what it is. Of course, Spain is saying, no, no, we are a great country, and of course, what they gonna say? The day before Lehman Brothers collapsed, what they were saying? Oh, we are the leaders of the market. Sure, sure they were. I mean, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. I'm trying to be optimistic, or let's say sarcastic, but it's not a joke and it's not funny. The Spanish central government rejects all allegations. Spain is a country governed by the rule of law, in which we do not spy, eavesdrop on conversations, or conduct wiretapping unless this is done within the scope of the law, said government spokeswoman.
Un Estado? ¿Qué tiene que hacer un gobierno cuando alguien vulnera la Constitución? Cuando alguien declara la independencia.
So, what this prime minister, not prime, but this is minister, and she's saying dissidence, which is part of democracy. I mean, I don't know, imagine England or the United Kingdom saying to Scotland, you have to go to jail just for asking to be an independent country. You cannot ask that. This would be named as a democracy, really? A place where you cannot be a dissident? I mean, just think differently or try to do something different? I don't know if you understand Spanish, but she said it like that. They broke the Constitution. This is illegal. You cannot ask for anything that it's not unity, and that's it. Rules has appeared to justify the crackdown of the Catalan separatists for their role in Catalonia's illegal secession bid in 2017. And I mean, we cannot ask it. We cannot make a poll. It's forbidden. Forbidden. You cannot. You cannot. They say it's illegal. They say we are terrorists for making a bid, a poll, and the mostly peaceful pro-secession street protest organized via a secretive social media platform. The events sometimes spiraled out of control and lead to clashes with police, the blocking of roads and train lines, and the closure of Barcelona's airport in 2019. I think anyone saw the Netflix film The Two Catalonias, and you saw the policemen hitting elders, peaceful elders, doing nothing more than asking, look, shooting them, those are shootings. Look, these peaceful people, they are doing nothing. They just, Catalonia referendum, 90% voted for independence, say officials, as it happened. Preliminary results announced after Spanish Prime Minister claims no referendum has been held in Catalonia today. Prime Minister went out on all television to say there was no referendum today. And it was like among 2 to 3 million people who vote 90% pro-independence. And they tried to deny the violence and all that kind of things, but you have to understand that the constitution that nowadays are ruling is a constitution that the dictator Franco wrote. We have absolute majority. I mean, it's the amount of money that Spain is robbing us. I mean, there's no euphemisms that can be used. I mean, solidarity is when once I paid my expenses, then if I have some benefit or something, I can give you something. That would be solidarity. But when you stole 60% prevently, this is not solidarity. This is robatory. This is thieving. That's it. It happens regularly, every 50 years, bombarding us, and they keep stealing us, every day, and every day more, every day more. So if you are in any country, I don't know how could you find that, uh, but please help us with a like, help us with a donation. We have no any support whatsoever. We are only trying to give a voice for the Catalans, not the Spanish talking about the Catalans. No, 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 no. This is a microphone for the Catalans, not the Spanish talking about the Catalans as their possession. Look, look, look that. You ever saw that? Imagine the bullfighting, which is something very typical from the Spaniards, which is torturing uh, an innocent animal until the animal dies in his own blood. And this is what we do. Look, those castles of people. You need different things. Like you need the 4 or 5 bigger guys here, but those big guys cannot keep together if those people they are not supporting them. When this base is solid enough, then the middle guys, middle size, middle frame guys make a second floor, and then the teenagers, and then the lighter teenagers, and then the kids. The kids end up the the thing, and sometimes all the town is involved in that, and sometimes other kids who decide if they go for it, because if this is trembling, this is fragile, the kids can say no, we are not going up. So this is marvelous. This is art, and all the town is involved. And what they do, what the Spaniards do, is just torturing animals. Okay, so we don't want to. I mean, we don't want that people. You know, we don't have anything to see with it. Look, millions of people asking for independence. Please let us go from these people who are robbing us, mistreating us. Catalan referendum preliminary results show 90% in favor of independence. Spanish Prime Minister defends violent response to poll as raids on ballot stations by riot police leave hundreds of injuries. Hundreds of injuries. A recent report by the Canadian-based what we just saw now. They've been spying us. They sent 10,000 policemen from all parts of Spain to attack Catalans directly. So we are asking the world, please help us.
Mire, no es el primer escándalo de escuchas ilegales de los servicios de inteligencia españoles, y repetir el mantra que cumplen la ley no les hace más democráticos. De hecho, un Estado que trata a su oposición democrática con cloacas, escuchas y espionaje no es un Estado que pueda llamarse democrático. ¿Cómo justifica usted que un juez autorice más de 60 escuchas individualizadas a dirigentes políticos, personalidades destacadas del independentismo, abogados y periodistas? ¿Sabe cuál es la única justificación que nos viene a la cabeza? Que cuando se trata de salvaguardar la unidad de España y contra el independentismo, todo vale. Y que cuando se trata de tapar las cloacas, siempre están ustedes, siempre está el PSOE salvando los muebles. Esta es la única justificación que se nos ocurre hasta que ustedes den explicaciones públicas y haya responsabilidades, que se depuren, que haya dimisiones y que se explique a la ciudadanía por qué se han vulnerado masivamente los derechos fundamentales de más de 60 personas en Cataluña, 4 diputados de este Parlamento y el actual presidente del Gobierno de la Generalitat de Cataluña.
Señora ministra de Defensa.
Bueno, usted está con el mantra de 60 y no sé cuántas personas espiadas, investigadas. Es muy fácil, puede hacerlo sin ningún material probatorio. Pero mire, ya que se rasga usted las vestiduras, yo le pregunto, ¿qué tiene que hacer un Estado? ¿Qué tiene que hacer un gobierno cuando alguien vulnera la Constitución? Cuando alguien declara la independencia? Cuando alguien corta las vías públicas?
We are being robbed, we are being kidnapped, we are being beaten. Again, what she's saying is what a government have to do when someone is breaking the constitution. So Spain terror attacks, 5 terror suspects shot dead in Cambrils. So look, I don't know if you remember, but that was 2017 in summer, in the middle of Las Ramblas in Barcelona, in the middle of downtown Barcelona. It was a terror attack because it was like 4 or 5 suspects shot dead in Cambrils, while earlier explosion at a house in Alcanar. You remember it was a van going inside the Ramblas. You know that the Ramblas, they have 2 ways for cars, and in the middle of La Ramblas, it's walking place, and they got in with a van and they start they killed like 17 people and like more than 100 injured. You would remember that. They planned that to scare Catalonia, to scare Catalonia. The leader of the CNI, which is the Center of Intelligence.
Jubilado, yo he seguido trabajando con el CNI hasta el último día. Hasta el día de hoy, fíjese, estuve grabando con ellos para intentar arreglar el entuerto del famoso atentado del imán de Ripoll, etcétera, etcétera, donde al final fue un error grave del señor Roldán que calculó mal las consecuencias por darle un pequeño susto a Cataluña. Entonces, hasta el último momento, hasta el día de mi detención, yo he tenido, y es más, le digo a la señoría que en mis condiciones de defensor, de codefensor, sigo manteniendo relaciones con algunas de las personas que me aprecian y me respetan dentro del CNI.
Look, one of the big leaders of the CNI for the last 30 years said, oh, we miscalculated the consequences of giving a small scare to Catalonia. 20 deaths, and not only Catalans, there was people from all over the world, because Barcelona in the summer, it's full of tourists. Carles Puigdemont's reflection on Catalan Gate, Spain can change. The wide acceptance of the monarchy's corruption, says Puigdemont, shows the difficulty in democratizing the Spanish state. Spain cannot change. That's true. That is also a employee of the Spanish government. I mean, he works for Spain, but here it's true. Spain is not going to change. Look, those are the Catalan constitutions from the 11th century. Catalonia had a parliament in the 11th century, the first parliament in Europe, much before England. Look, Franco killed everyone and said, no, this is all us. Look, the deplorable story of the Catalans, from their 5th engaging in the war to the time of their reduction. Motives, declarations, and engagements on which they first took arms. The letters, treaties, everything. We have 1,000 years of history, and now we are kidnapped. We've been 300 years kidnapped by by Spain, by the corrupt Spain. On several occasions, Catalonia has cried out for help from the international community. Let's revisit the Treaty of Utrecht 1713 that guaranteed the historical rights of Catalonia, abolished already 1714 by the Bourbon king. You know, that guy who, they have to drug him because he's very passionate and he runs over the ladies. Not the actual Bourbon, but the father of the actual Bourbon. The father of the nowadays Bourbon king, not the Bourbon whiskey kind of thing. No, I'm talking about Franco put the father, the one who is very passionate and chases the beautiful ladies. Franco put the father put the son, which is who is the king now, with nobody voting. I mean, they did it. That's it. They are following a constitution that the dictator prepared. He leave everything tight and well tight, as he said. The title, The Case of the Catalans Considered, was the name used by the European councillors early in the 18th century to refer to the debates and arrangements regarding the political destiny of the Principality of Catalonia in the context of the Peace of Utrecht, 1712-1714, the agreement that ended the War of the Spanish Succession. In this war, Catalonia had supported Archduke Charles of Austria and the Great Alliance overall, led by the Holy Roman Empire and Great Britain, against the Bourbon alliance composed of France and the Bourbons in Spain. When Charles' elder brother Joseph died in 1711, he succeeded him as the Holy Roman Emperor. This eventually led to his withdrawal from the war, effectively leaving Philip V as the victorious monarch in Spain. Philip then invoked the right of conquest over the crown of Aragon and Catalonia, suppressing its institutions and privileges. I can kill you and write new laws that I invent. That's it. That's it. It's very disgusting kind of empire because they never won any legit war. They only tortured unarmed civil people. Uh, it's very disgusting um, to be treated as a Spaniard because we don't feel Spaniards. Spaniards are the most miserable country, really. Following a coup d'etat against the Spanish Republic, invasion of the Catalan Republic, 1931, by fascist General Franco in 1939. You remember this was a fascist dictator, and this was, I don't think you're going to recognize that guy. A very nice guy, really. He was trying to do all what he did for our own good. We don't get it. Man, they were trying to help us out. They did it for our own, on our better. Uh, they did it for us. They didn't want to rob us. They didn't want to kill us. It was just something that they did for us, for our own good. So this is what's still remaining as the law. Catalans appealed to the United Nations for help in 1945. The case of Catalonia, they asked for help to the United Nations. Please, please, the civil rights for the people. Please, they killed us. We are still, look at that, look at that. In 1969, the dictator appointed the Bourbon king. This is the father, you would remember, he was very young. That guy who was a dictator, he was more than 40 years in the power. Nobody was able to vote against him or something, nothing. He killed everyone who was a dissident and put that guy, okay, today's democracy, quote unquote, is just to make up for a neo-fascist regime called constitutional monarchy. That was the guy who this dictator put on the power. And now that guy put his own son on the power now with nobody voting and using the same constitution that that guy and all his team prepared for us. It's still the same constitution. okay? And the United Nations, they, let's say, they let Spain got in. Look that. Look that. This, the Spanish Constitution, look at that. This is Franco. This is Juan Carlos. And this is, what's the name of that guy? I don't know, the new king. Felipe, that's it, Felipe. Look, this, which is the sign of the dictator, it's still in the Constitution. It's still in the Constitution. They did not change it. It's still the same Constitution. Okay, it's very easy to see, even though my English is not perfect. I'm sure if you are not, if you can read and I don't know, you can hear, this is very easy to see. So we are sending a message in a bottle, to the world. Please help us, follow us. I promise we're gonna do at least one program a week in English. Okay, and I wish you can help us because we are kidnapped by the neo-fascist regime that keeps the power. It's still keeping the power. Would the international community dare to accept a German constitution with a Nazi swastika nowadays? What do you think? I don't think German people would accept it. I don't think so. But, Spain is third world. Third world. Third world. To muffle international criticism, a system of autonomies was built up in 1977. Since then, Catalonia has had to endure institutional mistreatment, fiscal and economic plunder, and cultural genocide. Autonomy is the card being played on the international chessboard to justify the subjugation of the Catalan state. Okay? To muffle international criticism, a system of autonomies was built up in 1977, just when the dictator died. After the dictator put that constitution. Since then, Catalonia has had to endure institutional mistreatment, fiscal and economic plunder, and cultural genocide. Autonomy is the card being played on the international chessboard to justify the subjugation of the Catalan state. No, they have total freedom to be Catalan. It is normal. Nobody is saying what we are saying, but we are going to keep saying that, okay? Until we go to jail or they try to kill us. I don't know. As a matter of fact, over the last 44 years, successive Spain governments and courts have devoted themselves to depriving the so-called Catalan autonomy of its attributions. The referendum in 2017 was the result of a national struggle for survival. Yet European institutions and other international organizations neglected Catalonia, claiming that it is an internal matter when it is nothing more than a case of colonization in the heart of Europe. It is a case of colonization in the heart of Europe, this modern Europe. Oh yeah, super democratic Europe. Democratic democracy. I can't believe it. We are a colony. We are a colony. We are a colony. I just made an interview last week to a guy who is pro-independence, he's black, and he's gay. And he said to me, the worst thing is being pro-independence. Because if someone attacks me for being black, you nigga, a lot of people is going to defend him. And if someone attacks him for being gay, you faggot or whatever it is, a lot of people is going to defend him. But being Catalan and pro-independence is like being, I don't know, nobody but the Catalans are going to defend. best everything, because we really struggling for survival. So send us a message, and we can work it out. And I promise that we're gonna keep doing at least once a week in English. Constitutions and other rights of Catalonia compiled. Look that. Catalonia has existed as a state since 948 and has developed its own constitution since the 11th century. As a constitutional state, Catalonia signed international treaties with other states such as England. A thousand years. Pact of Genoa, Catalonia, and England. Those are real documents, because when they smashed us by war, they burn all the books, but not everything disappeared, and many things are still. The Pact of Genoa was an international treaty, a military and political alliance formed in 1705 between England and landowning Austricists, known as Vigatans, on behalf of the Principality of Catalonia within the framework set by the War of Spanish Succession. According to the terms of agreement, England stationed troops in Catalonia, which, united with the Catalonian forces, fought in favor of Charles VI of the Holy Roman Empire for the candidacy of the Spanish throne against the armies of Philip V of Castile, compromising the maintenance of Catalonian laws and institutions. But, unfortunately, we've been traded. This is the real document of Principality de Catalunya, the city of Barcelona.
In 2017, the central government cracked down on separatists, arresting political leaders and charging them with rebellion following an independence referendum in October of 2017.
You say the protesters are met with violence. I also condemn violent treatment of protesters in Minsk, Barcelona, Paris, Palestine, La Paz, Santiago, wherever it is. You say release the political prisoners. I also say release the political prisoners. There shouldn't be political prisoners anywhere. But I'm asking you, will you join me in calling for the release of the political prisoners in Catalonia and Julian Assange in London?
Let me see who's in the chat. Oh, look. Oh, hello, Patriotas. Hello, Eric. How are you doing? Very nice to see you around. Hola, què passa, guapos? Josep, aviam. Bona nit, Principat, les Illes, País. Molt bé. Raconet Català, relleguem els 3 milions. Molt bé. Bon dia tot el dia, Raconet. Molt bé. 2010, inici del procés. Van espiar, sí, però amb l'ajuda local. Sí, sí. Gabriela, soy de Latinoamérica, pero apoyo a Cataluña. Visa, gracias, Gabriela. Es un honor tenerte aquí. Muchísimas gracias. Un beso muy fuerte. ¿De qué país de Latinoamérica? Muchísimas gracias por estar aquí. De verdad, te lo agradezco muchísimo. Somos como mujeres maltratadas y las autoridades, no solo las europeas, sino las autoridades como las Naciones Unidas, están diciendo, no, eso que lo traten en casa. Imagínate que te maltrata tu marido y la policía dice, bueno, esto es un asunto interno de su casa, que lo traten entre ellos. Pues esto es lo que está pasando. Gracias, Gabriela, por tu apoyo. Te lo agradecemos mucho. Amallet, bona nit. Com anem, Amallet? Patriota, va, som-hi. Catalunya, què passaria si... Yeah! Molt bé, aviam, un moment, si trec l'assistent. Aviam, si trec l'assistent... No. Ok, David, bona nit, Patriota. Què tal, com anem? Molt bé. Sam speaking in English like a native Englishman. Unbelievable. Improving. I'm trying to improve every time. Seguirem millorant. We'll keep improving. And we promise that at least once a week, we're gonna send this message to the world, asking for help, please. Thank you very much, Dertinos. Thank you very much. Francesc Lucas, què tal? Com estàs, guapo? Molt bé, Patriota. Una abraçada molt forta. Gràcies per ser-ho. Tertinos, it's called Human Towers, built for smartly involve a group of a huge range of ages just to create a solid tower. It's what I tried to explain. I mean, imagine how culturally different is Catalonia from Spain. Spain torture animals. They kill them. They torture them until they die, swallowing their own blood. And we try to build a work of art with all people. Sometimes the kids have to decide if they go for the climb. You know, it's amazing. It's super beautiful, super emotive. Dertinus, retweet the 3 millions. Okay, Dertinus, that's a great hashtag. Thank you very much, Dertinus. Bravo. We're gonna do it. We're gonna be one of the great states in the world, not only Europe, in the world very soon. More sooner than later, believe me. Patriot Català, molt bo, Dertinus. I like that hashtag. Thank you very much. Bona nit, patriotes. Què tal? Patriota Darris is in English. Good night, patriots and matriots. Thank you. Manigor, speak Castilian. Where are you from? You have to be Spanish because only the retarded Spanish can speak in this way, really. Patriot Català, you could ask nicely. Instead, you use an imperative to order us to speak a language that is not ours. For example, I talked Spanish to Gabriela because she asked politely, and I have no problem. But you try to make me speak Spanish, and I'm not gonna speak Spanish to you because I don't want. You can suck my balls, okay? And that's it. And we are gonna be free very soon. And you are gonna die as a country. Because when you, let's say, what you gonna do with your life when you lose all what you rob us? What? You have no future plan. You have no future plan. Spain, the not Spanish people, because Spanish people are being robbed as well. You're gonna die as a country when you lose us. That's the truth. You need us more than we need you. That's the reality. Catalonia have a plan. Catalonia is viable on itself. Spain, not Spain. the Spanish kingdom is a insolvent junkie and acts as an insolvent junkie. And you are defending an insolvent junkie, and you're asking, yeah, rob us more, please, rob us more. I want my grandchildren to live in perpetual miserability. It's totally nonsense, man. We have a way out. You don't. That's the thing. Ragonet, thank you very much. We promise we're going to keep on doing that once a week at least, because if that works well and we keep finding people abroad and maybe Catalans who are living outside, because living in the third world is very difficult and many Catalans have to live outside Catalonia. So maybe someday we're gonna find Catalans here and there. Alex Vila, 23 centímetres. Molt bé, bona nit en Vilafranca, Barcelona. Molt bé. Alex, encantat de tenir-te aquí. Very nice to have you here. Thank you very much for passing by. And we promise that we're going to keep on doing this once a week in English, making this message to the world, which is save the Catalans. We are struggling to survive because Spain is almost 200% of the gross domestic product in debt. This is unpayable. So we are asking for help. This is a message in a bottle. Thank you very much for all the people who watched that video. And please subscribe to the channel, make a donation, give us a comment, let us know what country you are from, if you've been in Catalonia, if you've been in Barcelona. If you want to come, we're gonna be your tourist guide. We can show you the real Catalonia, and we're gonna do it almost for free. You can give us a donation and we can come to the airport, take you to the good places, to show you everything. We're gonna do everything for anyone who have a minimum sensibility with this case. It is very important for our survival, and I really appreciate anyone who understands that, who wants to understand that. Thank you very much, and God bless Catalonia, and God bless Catalonia, and visca Catalunya de nou lliure. Catalonia's independence is coming, believe me. If they did not end us in more than 300 years with bombardings, with killings, with everything, they are not going to do it now. So please, we are asking for help to the world. Let us know which country you are in. Let us know if you are Catalan abroad, and please help us to be free again. We deserve it. Catalans will decide their future. Please save the Catalans. Thank you very much. Catalonia, a struggle for survival. Thank you very much for being here.